We're live.
We're live.
Diogo from the Five8 Take. Thank you for joining us, mate, on the show.
Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Just talking about the rain, because yesterday was a pearler of a day, right?
Yeah.
And then when you got here, which was probably 20 minutes ago, it just started pissing down rain out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And there was chemtrails galore yesterday. I put it up on my Instagram story. I took a video.
Yeah.
My mate had a customer send him a video, which I shared on Instagram.
Yeah.
And there was this guy going, look at them. Look at the fucking things. They're going bananas this morning. And then there was actually a real plane. He goes, just so you can see, this is not a real plane. And there was an actual plane just floating through the air. And behind it were all these white trails. And look at the weather. And yesterday was a glorious day.
What do you think about, who's that pilot that was in Brisbane and he went to Canberra, was big in Canberra?
Oh, what's his name?
Graham Hood.
Hoodie.
What have you seen? Did you see the video of him coming out and being like, I've been a pilot for 50 years.
Yes.
And chemtrails is non-existent.
No, I saw the video of him having to quit his job.
No, so he's come out. He did a video with the other guy from the ambulance. I really don't know who those two guys are, but
Yeah, he sort of popped up as a veteran pilot.
yeah, out of nowhere. And
now
apparently he was on SBS or something years ago for having sex issues.
Did he? Was he?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
He had major porn addiction. And he was
Really?
on national television talking about it like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm not too sure when, but the video is out there. And then
No idea.
Yeah, he came out the other day and was like, oh, I've been a pilot for 50 years. I know you see these planes go over the top and leave something, but I can guarantee you that chemtrails doesn't exist, essentially is what he said.
But there's actual theories across the world. Not even theories.
Yeah, you can see it,
It's
right?
documented. They actually say, yeah, we do. We manipulate the weather. Malcolm Turnbull in 2007, 2009 signed in some bill which was billions of dollars worth of funding for weather manipulation or rain manipulation.
Cloud seeding,
that type of shit. So either way, whether they're doing it for a good purpose or not, they're still playing with the weather.
100%. So is it just the word chemtrails that people are just like, whoa, nuts, conspiracy theorists?
Yeah.
Is there another word we can use? Could we just go,
I don't know.
or just cloud seeding?
Well, bro, the problem is everything that is outside the narrative is a conspiracy theorist, which in reality, it's not even conspiracy, because what we were talking about, Dom included, for the last 2 and a bit years, I'd say for most of us, we were predicting what was going to happen. What's happened has come to fruition. And what we said was going to happen happened. From everything from the process of getting the jab to after what was going to happen, mate, it's
everything.
And it's fucked, because it was a treacherous couple of years where some people didn't recover, some businesses copped it, gyms were closed, you couldn't. But I remember I was rolling during the first lockdown. I'm like, this dude's sweating in my mouth. How is this not? Why is this allowed? Right? Not that I was complaining.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it was inconsistent with how everything else was automatically shut down, like a gym and a cafe. Boom, sorry. Or not a gym, sorry. It was cafes and something else.
Gyms as well.
Gyms were. But I don't know. I was rolling during, maybe it was after lockdown, or when we were getting case numbers were high.
Were you doing one of those underground things where like you had to go with a few mates and...
No, it was actually a proper gym.
It was a proper gym.
They were open. And then the second wave, everything was closed.
Right.
They paused all the memberships. They didn't do that the first time.
Oh, that's when everyone went underground.
That's
a lot of my guys were like, you weren't meant to go outside to your 5 kilometers, but a lot of my guys were just like, fuck that. And they just went to backyards. They went to living rooms, bought mats, and then just, rolled wherever they could and whenever they could. Yeah,
like who the 5K thing really, that
was ridiculous.
It bothered me to my core, how it didn't bother people.
Yeah.
How they were just like, okay. Oh, I can't bury my dad. Okay. Thanks, government. Are you joking? Like, bro, did you hear about this guy in Lebanon? So there's a big problem in Lebanon with the currency and the corruption, and the country's upside down. And
Beirut's been bombed and rebuilt like 5 times now, right?
No, it will never end. But
it's fucked.
The corruption is that bad. The inflation is through the roof. They don't have the banks. Someone can look at their bank account and see 30 grand, but that won't be in the bank, right? So this guy went in to get money for his dad. His dad's having a surgery. He's got 200,000 in the bank. He held the bank hostage. So he could get Guess how much they gave him? 30,000.
Hold on, what?
He went in to get his money.
He went into a bank.
He goes, hey, I need to withdraw my money. They said, you can't. He goes,
The bank said you can't.
I did, because there's no money. Because there's people taking and taking and taking and taking. So you could see money, which is pretty standard across the whole world, because money isn't backed by gold anymore. So where the money... Well, there's money in your bank account, but there's actually no physical money you can access. That's right.
Yeah,
because
so the banks have to sort of ration it out to the people.
So for example, people wanting $100 are only allowed to get 50, right? Because there's no money in the bank.
That's
because people like, all right, there's no government, there's no economy, there's no stability, there's no infrastructure. You don't even have a driver's license. Like, I have a card which confirms my identity as a Australian Lebanese person, if you'll call it that, because I'm born here, parents are born there, but when you have this ID, it makes the process easier to get in and out of. But anyways, I don't even think you need a physical license to drive. You can just drive. Like, if you can see, you can drive. I don't know anyone that has an actual driving license. That's how corrupt the country is. But anyway, this guy, the reason I'm telling you, this guy went into the bank and held them hostage because he needed his fucking money. Like, he John Q'd the bank. Because...
Did he get arrested?
I think he got arrested. I don't know if charges were laid or anything, but his dad was dying and needed money for his surgery. They don't have healthcare like we do here.
Yeah.
So if someone's in hospital, you've got to pay.
To be fair, like, if someone's holding my money hostage like that and my family member needed serious surgery and I can't access my money, I'll do everything that I can to get that money to pay for that surgery.
Case in point. Like, you have to, bro.
But when you say there's no government there...
There is a government.
There is a government.
But they're corrupt beyond belief. Like,
they're
billionaires,
Andrews.
bro. They're billionaires.
Yeah.
They're billionaires. The politicians. They got money you can't even fathom. They got money offshore. The people are starving, man. It's fucked. I had to send money to my cousin, and I had to send him food via a company that can just deliver food, because there was one point in Lebanon they didn't have fuel. So he couldn't drive. He's in a village. So to get down to where the closest area was to actually get something, he couldn't make it down with fuel. Bro, it's bad. Like,
it's that bad.
It's bad. My cousin is a special forces, if you'll call it that, for the Lebanese. They're called the Darak. It's like a police force, but the police, they don't really do anything. The Darak are more enforcers.
It's like Brazil. We got Tropa de Elite is the police force above the police force because the police is so corrupt.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, right? He was getting, on a good day, $1,500 a month, which is fucking good money for Lebanon. Now he's telling me he's probably getting $40 to $50 a month.
Fuck.
So it costs him more to drive to work than he makes. And he's got a kid. Bro.
See, that's insane. That's why in Australia I've been in this sort of limbo of because a lot of people in this like freedom movement in Australia are like, oh, let's fire them all, let's get rid of the entire, like, our political system is quite good. Like, we do have corruption, but if we get to a stage like that, if we get to a stage of Brazil, we're going to be seriously fucked. So when people say all those things like sack them all and all of that, I'm not with it. I'm not part of that camp. I do believe in democracy. I think the Assyrians, when they created democracy back in 2500 BCE, I think they did an incredible job. It sort of increased civilization dramatically. Athens took it and ran with it. And, you know, Aristotle came after that, Plato, the Zeno, all the amazing Stoics and philosophers. And democracy is amazing. And Australia is an amazing spot. So when people are like, the courts are corrupt, everything's corrupt. No, some of it is corrupt.
Yep.
But if it wasn't for the courts, I would have been in jail for 38 years. Like, I would have been fucked. So, like, people have to watch it when they say sack them all. I don't think they really understand what that even means or the repercussions of that. You know what I mean?
I agree with you because, corruption is rife in every country, right?
Yeah.
It is a thing. And democracy exists, but it's not 100% democracy. It's sort of limited democracy. Like, case in point, the last 2 and a bit years.
Yeah.
You know, you were free you can choose whatever pathway you want. You can choose to be a criminal. You can choose to be a business owner. You can choose to work at Coles. You can choose what you want.
Yeah.
But then there was a line drawn with your choice. And you could still choose, but you just couldn't live if you didn't make the choice.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? So I guess where people would have gone, sack them all, it's because they're like, well, you've taken my liberty and my freedom to make a choice, which I don't want to make. You're making me have to make a choice. You know? And mate, most people I've spoken to regret getting the jab because they didn't want to get it. They had to get it. And I'm like, bro, I'm sorry you had to. It sucks. Yeah. You have to provide for your wife and your kids. You can't just stand up there with a pitchfork and a flag and go, fucking sack them all. And then who's going to pay your bills? Yeah. You got to roll your sleeve up, bro. And you had to. And mad respect to everyone that had to. Yeah. Because I know if I was in that situation, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what I have to do, bro. What are you going to do?
That's another thing. Like, people were criticizing all these people that took the jab, and there's no way of knowing their internal circumstances.
1 million%.
You know, like
1,000,000%.
It's one of those situations. It's like sure, try every single avenue, and I hope everyone did that. Yeah. Like, if it's like your job said for you to do this, just
explore it.
Explore other options.
Exactly.
Like, apply for other jobs. Try, build a community. See what you can do. And if it really puts your back against the wall, and I can't judge that, man, at all. You know.
Bro, you know what? I thought the same thing until I realised that Sydney siders are highly geared. When I mean by highly geared, more like not steroids.
They are highly geared. Oh, shout outs to Ziz, bravo, R.I.P. fam.
No, like highly geared in terms of debt position, right?
Yeah.
Mortgage position, $1 million debt. They may have a previous investment property. They might have a car loan for them and the wife. The kids might be in daycare, right? All this shit's going boom. If you don't work, all of this is going to be affected.
Yeah.
Right? That's where, and now, protest last year and me being vocal about everything and my support for all of this does not affect me anywhere near it would affect a carpenter, for example.
Yeah.
Because I could do my job from my fucking toilet if I wanted to, right? I could do my job from Brazil. It's literally, I'm not anywhere disadvantaged as anyone else was.
Yeah.
So my reasoning was because I understood people were given an ultimatum that didn't have to be given.
Yeah.
And they're saying, take it to help your grandma. Bro, where's the evidence to help my grandma? What do you mean? What fucking jabber? You got some magic potion that's going to save the world? It's not. When they started lying through their teeth willingly, without evidence, without science, without anything, that's when I'm like, nah, man, this is fucked. Now this is the last thing I'm going to do with my body. The absolute last thing I'm going to do. Yeah. Because you are dragging everyone through the mud. Good people, honest people. You are fucking people's liberty, fucking their freedom to move. You couldn't see your family, bro.
Oath.
What do you mean I can't see my family? Why? Because you think I'm going to make my dad sick? You think that he's going to clog up the hospitals? Where's the evidence, bro? Where?
And back to the political side of things, I've been really had a lot of discussions over this lately, and that's parliamentary privilege. Parliamentary privilege should not exist in Australia. These people should not have the right to lie, be encouraged to lie through parliamentary privilege, and then have this security of parliamentary privilege that they can say literally whatever they want.
So true.
And that should just be eradicated. I don't understand how that even exists in a political system where we tell our politicians that they can lie. We say, media has a massive part to play in this as well. And
the worst.
All of these politicians, I believe they're going to get it. They seriously, with Fauci just resigned, right? Yep. So he's gone.
Yep.
December, he's out of there. CDC has come out and said that... yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Do you need a cable? All good. Do you want a cable?
All good.
It's just corrupted.
It's fine.
All good.
So like, CDC comes out with their guidelines. You can see that it was all clearly bullshit. I think in Switzerland, this should come out soon, is that Supreme Court, they lost. So mRNA is actually not just a regular vaccine. So that's
gene therapy? Gene therapy,
which I think that's why Fauci got out of there before it reached America. So, credit to that little weasel that has weaseled his way out.
Did you see when he was telling people to wear double masks and 3 masks?
Yeah, mate.
Bro, back to your point. Like, it's a very good point because you think about the fallen soldiers, if you want to call them that, in Australian politics. Like, it started with Berejiklian, right? She just sailed off into the sunset. Her vice, what was his name?
Barilaro, which was my lawyers that took him out.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, you had it. We'll talk about your little tiff in a minute. He's dropped off.
Yeah.
Another premier from wasn't Palaszczuk, Northern Territory. Did he resign? McGowan? No, he's Perth.
No, they're still there. Gunner was Northern Territory. McGowan's still there.
He resigned. Northern Territory.
Adelaide resigned.
Okay. Now, let's say their decisions, collectively or individually, was a result of loss of businesses, income, life, whatever. They will never ever be held to account for that because of your point. Back to your point.
Yeah,
they have this bubble where even to the point where they didn't even need to be jabbed. You know that?
Yeah.
Right?
They were the only that were exempt.
Yeah, and then
you got politicians.
And you got people like Gladys who would get on the TV at 11 a.m. every day on purpose to drive fear into people's hearts. And
until she realised that didn't work because we clipped the hell out of it, and everyone just just roasted her so much that they literally when what's his name? Perrottet came in.
Yeah.
He brought that forward to 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And he tried to make it as early as possible.
Yeah. Bro,
no,
don't be silly because you're right. Because she was just getting lit up. But you know what? People like you and I will take the piss out of it.
Yeah.
But people that are sitting in their homes going, oh my God, there's 10,000 cases, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
They're getting the shit freaked out of them. And she's saying things like, oh, I wouldn't even walk past someone that's not vaccinated. And you're like, what? This is the Premier of New South Wales driving this
segregation.
Correct, right? So the whole thing, it's easy to see there was this target.
Yeah.
We need to get jabs. We need to get jabs. Whether they knew the truth or not, that's not the point. They had a target. They had a goal. Once they achieved it, everything stopped. Because how many cases a day are we at now? We're in the thousands, right?
Yeah. I think we're apparently worse, are we, than last year?
I think so. And I don't know about you, but are you finding a lot of people are sick? Not like not like the flu-y and sick and problems. And I'm like, I don't want to say it, but the elephant in the room.
Yeah, the elephant is right there.
Like the throat's going up. You know? Fuck, man. I don't know. I don't like saying I told you, so I don't want to be that dude. You know, I just want people to realize that I'm not, and we're not, crazy conspiracy theorists that are just have nothing better to do with our time.
Yeah.
The honest truth is that I want to save people's minds from this bullshit rat race that everyone's caught up into.
Yeah.
Everyone's caught up in this web, this bubble where it's, well, number one is keeping up with the Joneses, right? We put so much emphasis on things that are not important.
Yeah.
But then with this whole, I found with a lot of my circles, people were getting jabbed because everyone was getting jabbed. Well, bro, I want to travel. I need to get jabbed. You're not saying you want to fix your health or improve your situation with COVID. You want to travel, so you're getting jabbed.
Yeah, that was another thing, right?
Yeah, the purpose was not right. The purpose was only to serve the purpose for yourself, not because you wanted to improve your health. I'm thinking, wow, so you'd roll the dice on this. You'd roll the dice on this because you want to get on a plane when you just have to wait 6 to 12 months. What's the hurry? What's the hurry, bro? Why would you put yourself in that position?
One of my friends did that. He was, he's really about his health, which blew my mind. He's very much works out, trains, is all about like even touching receipts. Like he's really big in health, and he got it because he wanted to go overseas back to his country.
Yeah.
I was. It shocked me, but I'm not. I'm not going to judge him, but it's also like, it hurts me because men need to fucking stand up. Like in this time, we are fucking like, I don't know, men are just weak at the moment.
We've been conditioned, man. We've been worn down. I watch a lot of things and I read a lot of things. Carnivore Aurelius.
Yeah, love that guy.
The guy's the GOAT, man. And the things he talks about, where you see the trajectory on how, for example, sperm count or fertility levels or even age and obesity levels, and you're looking at trends which all point at the same, they all just start going up around the same time. And it's all like this. He talks a lot about soy, which is really, really bad for testosterone.
Yes.
Bro, soy's in everything, right? Like if you eat sushi, I love sushi. I will pour the smallest bit of soy. If I'm having like a nigiri or a sashimi, I just need that. I need the
Yeah, no, that's all. That one is good.
Oh, soy sauce is okay.
So soy sauce is okay because it's processed. It goes through a particular process that erases all of that.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not the same as having like soy products in general. Like what's the word I'm looking for?
Soybeans.
Edamame?
No,
edamame. Is that soybean?
No.
It is, eh?
It's
tofu.
Tofu. Sorry,
Tofu.
It's not the same as having like something like tofu.
Okay.
Yeah, it's completely. It's almost like a fermented process that it goes through.
Oh right, okay, well, that makes sense because soy tofu. I actually don't mind some dishes, some tofu dishes, Japanese ones.
Yeah.
But after I read what he talks about sunscreen,
Yeah.
I'm going to try this in summer because he is of the impression that if you're healthy, you won't get sunburnt, right? Sunscreen, he reckons, causes skin cancer.
Yeah.
He says if you're healthy and your gut's healthy and your body's healthy, you won't be burnt. Obviously, you can't be out in the sun at 1 to 2 p.m. and expect to not get burnt.
Yeah.
It's the hottest part of it. But he reckons the average person that gets burnt and that needs sunscreen probably has a deficient diet.
Interesting.
I'm very interested to explore that because I'm very close to doing a carnivore diet. I want to try it.
Yeah,
I think you had a go at it. Oh, you do it?
Yeah,
You're regularly on it?
Yeah, I initially when I went on it, I was strictly carnivore. I don't recommend that. I was too strict with it, but I won my ADCC comp on that. So
interesting. What belt are you?
Blue.
Beautiful. So you won a comp on the carnivore diet?
On a carnivore diet.
Wow.
So it was, I had a, funny you mentioned Sweden this morning because I had a Swedish girlfriend like before, right?
Yeah.
And she was a vegan. I tried the vegan diet for a little bit and my rolling just went
boom,
decline. Rolling, my sparring, everything was just messy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go on this carnivore diet and just try it out, see how I go. This is ages ago. This is before the pandemic or anything like that. And then I went on strict. All I did was just salt. That's all I had. The rest was just meat. I didn't even season. Like that's how strict I went on it.
Wow.
I got some headaches doing that.
Yeah.
So then in my rolls whilst I was doing that though, it's not matrix, but when I'm inverting and everything, it's so much clearer. It's like I just, every position, every scramble, I was just quicker to the mark. Where when I was a vegan, just wasn't. I was just like dead. And what I recommend is adding a bit of fruit to it. So go fruit and meat.
Yeah.
And that was perfect. That erased the headaches. It just helped me dramatically.
How are the shits? I heard the shits are pretty bad.
Yeah, the shits are supposed to be bad within 2 weeks. I didn't get it.
Okay, that's good.
So I was fine on the first carnivore diet.
Yeah.
And when I added fruits, I didn't really get it either. I felt an uplift, but I heard people get diarrhea within the first 2 weeks of having it.
Massive change to the gut. But I think because I eat a lot of meat regularly, maybe I eat a lot of red meat on a regular basis.
Yeah, Brazilians do too.
Yeah, bro, yeah. Brazilian barbecue, mate. I've never walked out of there without feeling like I need to throw up. If you walk out of like a churrasco or something,
you
know, they get you to flip the card when you're done. I never flip the card. I just, because it's always new shit too. I'm like, bring it.
And it's so good.
And if you fired one up before, like, you know, then you're really going to open up your stomach. But by the time you're done, you're in a coma. But
you're not supposed to eat. When people go on a carnivore diet, they make a mistake of trying to eat normally like everyday people, like 3 meals a day. Like, you don't really do that because when people went to hunt, they ate meat and then they went to hunt, right? And they would spend a lot of time hunting. That meat that's processing through you will take a lot of time for your body to digest and use up all the energy and everything like that.
Yeah.
So you really don't need to eat as much as you regularly do without being on a carnivore diet, and you can last a lot longer as well.
Yeah, I actually downloaded the Carnivore Aurelius's guide because I was going to give his a go. And I'm actually waiting for blood work results because I want to do it properly.
Yeah.
But it's very intense. Like, it's meat, it's just meat, no bacon. Which
I don't eat bacon at all.
Well, I heard I've been doing some study on it, researching, and apparently it's highly processed.
Yeah, it's a lot of the pork meats. That's why it's so abundant, right? Pork is the most abundant meat that you can find. You will find pork in anything. So
a good point, actually.
It's one of those meats that's not that salt's bad or anything like that. I don't know. It just doesn't work with my body. So I've stayed away from it.
Right? Because of the way they cure it. Because bacon, I smoke meat. I like to barbecue meat. And I know with bacon, it's awesome. Barbecuing bacon, to cure it, you need to cure it with the salt, and you can smoke it. You get some flavored bacons and whatnot.
Yeah.
But apparently, when I read up on when I was doing the carnivore diet, he talks a lot about bacon being processed. So it's not good for your carnivore diet. It's sort of like cheese almost.
Yeah.
You know? So I follow, I think you do, you probably do too.
Good cheese is good, by the way. Good cheese, good butter.
Oh, yeah,
It's not so
There's a
bad.
good butter. It's a grass-fed butter. It's from New Zealand. Get it from Coles or Woolies. It's the block, the foil block ones. Oh, my God. You can just eat it like that. It's fucking awesome. Love it. But the Paul Saladino.
We've gone back and forth. Well, he was meant to come on the podcast not too long ago. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Our scheduling just didn't work.
Yeah,
but
it'd be off,
I'll be trying to get him on. Yeah.
Yeah, I love his take on the carnivore diet because it's not too intense. It's actually manageable. In fact, he brings in honey and milk and fruit, and I think that's more achievable in our current climate or our the way we live.
That's my diet. That's the one that I recommend.
That's good,
if anyone wants a carnivore diet, his way is the one that I do it.
Are you on? Have you got access to raw milk?
I wish.
Bro, I heard of a company. There was a company that popped up. It was like one of those Shark Tank companies.
Raf Fernandez, who just burnt Marcus Aurelius's book.
I saw your. What's the go with that?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But he can get raw milk. So if I'm to get raw milk, is offered to send me some.
I want to try it, and I'm lactose intolerant, right? And
do you eat raw liver?
Yeah, I'm Lebanese, bro. It's part of our culture. So raw liver is not a thing for me. The milk,
I love it.
The milk, I'm lactose intolerant. I only found out 5-6 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
4 years
I think
ago.
I might be as well.
Well, apparently, if you are not lactose intolerant, you are a mutant. So apparently, babies are tolerant of lactose.
Yeah.
Up until a certain age, and then lactose intolerance develops slowly. Because I'm starting to know a lot of my wife, she had a gallbladder removed a few weeks ago, and they said, "Oh yeah, you're sensitive to lactose, by the way." So you may not be intolerant, but I'd imagine if you're sensitive and you keep having it, it might turn into a problem. I have no like an intolerance, but when I have grass-fed butter, I'm fine, dead set. I don't feel if I have a cup of milk, bro, shut the gates, just get away from me, right? If I have like some cheese or if I have a packet of chips and there's milk in the chips, I'll feel it. But if I have this grass-fed butter, and I use a lot of grass-fed butter for if I smoke a brisket or I smoke some ribs, and if I have it on toast or anything, I don't feel nothing. It doesn't affect me. But it's interesting. That's why I want to try the raw milk, because I know raw milk is. We've learned or grown up to be taught that it's bad for you. You have to have pasteurized milk.
They're trying to say that fucking eggs is bad for you now. Have you seen that they posted a thing in America? They literally changed science. They literally changed.
What do you mean?
So the project did a post a couple of days ago, and the title of the post was "Cheerios is better for you for breakfast than eggs." And then when you look at the post, they've completely changed the way that they assess foods to be healthy now. So they literally say that in the morning, wheat, cereal, Cheerios is all better for you than the ratings of an egg.
How?
That's what I'm saying.
How? This is impossible. No, bro, okay. So you're telling me... Now, you know what? I believe it. Because if you remember, it may have been this year or last year, all the news media outlets were saying there is an increase in myocarditis because of bacon and egg rolls for breakfast, or bacon and eggs for breakfast. What? What?
How
what?
ridiculous was that? Here we go. I'll show you right now. Study finds Cheerios are healthier than breakfast options than eggs. Researchers in the US have developed a new system for assessing the nutrition content of the food we eat, and many of the results may shock you. And it says right there,
I'm fucking
as
shocked.
reported by Daily Mail, the Food Compass uses innovative science to bank foods according to 54 different attributes, giving each food a score between 1 and 100. And so you see here, those have chosen eggs over cereal for breakfast may be shocked to find Cheerios is 95 and shredded wheat, like your Milo cereals, 83, and they rated eggs a 51 out of 100.
A boiled egg even.
Boiled egg.
A boiled egg. Oh my, you don't even add anything to a boiled egg. It's in its purest form. And you reckon that's worse than a fucking bowl of cereal?
Cheerios, mate. All that sugar, it's fucking insane. It's insane.
Have you noticed a gradual push away from traditional methods of eating? There's all this push for fake meat and veganism, and a push away from eating meat and eating eggs and eating raw produce. Not even raw as in like raw, but as in like raw proper food.
Yeah.
There's this push away from that. It's like almost going into this new system of electric cars and fucking eating bugs. And it's moving that way, mate. People are talking about bugs already.
Do you know how hilarious I find when vegans say eat bugs instead? Like, are bugs not animals? Like,
bro, bug you're eating an animal, bro. You fucking idiot. Fuck off. How about when they eat that? I don't want to kill animals. How did your plant survive? They had to dig up the dirt. So worms and ants and other fucking animals died. Yeah. Insects are animals, bruv. They're the same shit. So you can't be empathetic for a cow and not an ant. Yeah. Right? They're the same fucking thing.
Exactly.
So fuck off with your veganism.
Exactly. Right? And it was like the avocado farm was like, it's almost like extinct some bees in the areas.
Yes, I saw that, bro.
It's fucked.
What about in the Amazon? So I think it was Graham Hancock on Rogan, I think, talking about they discovered life under the Amazon when they were digging up the Amazon to plant palm trees and soya plants.
Oh, right.
So they're ripping up the Amazon to plant soy trees and fucking palm trees, right? For all the vegans out there that want to have fake meat. Thank you. But they uncovered a civilization at the bottom of the Amazon. So the waters increased over time. They found bowls. They found cutlery. One distinct thing he said they found was a shaman's pouch made out of fox noses. It's pretty
sick.
With traces of DMT. On the fucking Amazon.
No.
After digging up the Amazon to plant soya farms, it was definitely Graham Hancock. Yeah.
I want to try ayahuasca.
I have that. I did DMT. It wasn't the full. So I did. I think I was looking up. It was like do this much or 20.25. I did like a smaller amount because I just wanted to get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Because I know with psychedelics, all the non-psychedelics out there, if you're on a trip and it goes bad, it's because you're trying to control the trip. Yes. You just got to let it do its thing.
100%.
So I didn't want to go too deep because I've never done anything. I've done mushies and I've done acid and all that. And mushies and acid, they're almost the same. DMT is a completely different experience. And it was probably a 6 to 7 minute experience.
Yeah, that's how long it usually is, up to 10 minutes.
But I didn't break through. Like I had to close my eyes. I couldn't open my eyes. Yep. I remember where I was sitting in the living room and the TV started going cartoon. The artwork started going cartoon. And then everything just went real, started dripping. And I had to close my eyes and then this intense, it was like dark and then just boom, light of the most... I'd say it's my mind bending around itself, trying to create shapes. Yeah,
which is amazing.
It's like the most peculiar, abstract shapes that are constantly moving. So it would start. I don't know. You wouldn't even call it a triangle, and then it would bend into some weird, pointed thing, and then towards the end, the head. I'll show you the image. Probably easy to Google it. That DMT psychedelic.
So you saw a popular thing that people see the trip.
I saw this. I saw a bit of this, right? Okay, so I got a bit of where'd it go? This thing. So I got a bit of that, and then right at the end, So what I started to do towards the end, because I felt it was waning, like it was starting to wear off.
Yeah.
I'd open my eyes and I realized I was still in the trip, but I wasn't, like it was fading out. And each time I'd close my eyes, I could see a figure. It was a figure, but it wasn't distinct enough for me to say it was a human, but it was a shape. It was a figure. It was like, it appeared to be somewhat of a figure.
Yeah.
So I think if I went a bit further.
Just a silhouette?
Silhouette, yeah, that's probably the best description for it.
Yeah.
And then my mate did it, and I noticed he was just sitting there and his leg was moving real quick, like just constantly moving. He kept opening his eyes and closing. And
I do that shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, you good? He's like, yeah. And then afterwards he was like, bro, it wouldn't end. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, so he had a bad one.
Yeah, and that happened to me with acid. I did acid and I was smoking weed with it, but I didn't know you're not supposed to. Rookie mistake.
You did the same shit as I did.
Bro, I had the worst trip of my life, right? To the point where my mate left, lights go on, everything's wobbling. I'm like, oh, I'm still fucking chopped. And then every time I closed my eyes, it would just go boom, like scary, like bad. Like that. And I now remember and I recall I was too interested in waiting for it to end. I'm like, when is this going to end?
Yes. Oh, right. You're explaining. For anyone?
Worst decision of my life. Absolute worst.
Was that the first time you did it?
Yeah, and I was reluctant.
Me too.
Reluctant to do it. Reluctant because I like
too.
Natural shit. I like the mushies.
Yes.
I like stuff that's from the earth.
100%.
Acid, I was always like, it's not my thing. And my mate's like, we'll have a crack at it. We'll do it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good, but the weed sent me for 6.
Yeah.
And because it sent me for 6, then I started having a really bad experience.
Yeah.
But to the point, it dragged, man. And I think my mind dragged it.
Yeah.
I dragged it myself.
I had it when I first did it. It was, so the first bit of acid lasts around 12 hours.
Yeah.
Someone should have told me that when I initially had it.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
And and then when I first had it, the first little bit of it was fucking fantastic. You're laughing your ass off. Yeah. Like everything is funny. Like the lights, like images like this. Some of it start dripping a little.
Starts wobbling and stuff.
Yeah. It's really the first little bit was really good.
Yeah.
Right. And then 6 hours in, which is how long mushrooms last, 6 to 8. So I thought it was ending there.
You're like,
and then,
I'm good.
Yeah, and then I had the mistake of then having some weed.
Yep.
And then when I had the weed, bro, because I thought the acid had finished. Then I had the weed, and then I was like, this isn't how weed is. I'm like, so it reactivated it. So then I'm sitting there like, this isn't how weed is. This isn't how, like, what's going on here? And then my mind started going, well, then what drug am I on?
Yeah.
So it's
that's
like,
what happens.
And then when you get to that point, you start spiraling. And then you're like, well, if I'm kind of see what drug I'm on, it's like, have I gone on an acid loop?
Am I fucked?
Yes.
I started thinking, am I stuck in this? Is this how life will be? I
Bro,
can't do this.
one of my mates was like, am I an orange juice cup?
Oh, God, it's an orange juice cup.
What are you on about, mate?
Oh, mate, you know what? I've done mushrooms enough times to say that it'll be very difficult to have the same experience with mushrooms.
Yeah, no way. It's way more natural.
It's such a different feeling. And the good thing I like with mushrooms is you don't need to have a trip amount. You can have less and still have an experience which is not a trip.
Yeah.
Like I go hiking quite a lot.
You can microdose.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of billionaires microdose.
I do. Oh, do they? I didn't know.
Yeah, Elon Musk, all of them.
Really?
Jeff Bezos is open about it. They all microdose mushrooms.
Well, I go on hikes, and one thing I really like about mushrooms is it heightens your vision. Like things become like 5K. You look at your finger and your hands, and you see all the little creases in your palm. That stuff, I love it. So when you're hiking and you're in nature,
it's brighter.
It's beautiful. The green is really, really green, and it's a wonderful experience, right? But you're not like smacking balls. You're still completely incoherent, still completely coherent. You're just not tripping balls, and it's a great experience. I actually like that. I don't like to do trips when I'm in my house with my kids, near my kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to worry about any. when I did the acid, it was in my garage, and I heard my son cry. He was only a baby, and it made it 100 times worse.
That would have killed me. I would have tripped balls.
Bro, because when you're incapacitated and your mind is so fucked, you feel like a 6-year-old and you don't know what to do with yourself. And how can I be responsible for this child?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you start tripping even harder. So never again will I do any type of psychedelic unless I'm away somewhere. But in terms of, the smaller amounts, I don't mind that at all. It makes the experience just better. I don't know how to describe it. But, bro, let's talk a bit of your...
I might just interject about mushrooms quickly, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Dom on the camera.
Hey guys, Dom here, Powers of Drake 2.0. I had a really negative experience with...
Come here.
Come on the mic. Come on the mic. Jump on the mic.
Just put that down, bro. You're enough filming. What's up?
I had a really negative experience with magic mushrooms.
Okay.
I was living with some guys I'd met about 2 weeks prior at a local youth group in Sutherland. Was pretty gullible to the whole drug scene, obviously a bit of a virgin in a lot of respects, and I got offered a bag of mushies. So I started taking about 3 or 4 of them, not realizing, whole mushrooms, not realizing that there was actually nothing on them. They weren't magic mushrooms.
Oh, they were just normal.
They were normal
mushies.
mushrooms. But let me tell you what actually happened.
You poor bastard.
Let me tell you what happened. It was a complete setup. They were instigating that I was high when I let these people in who proceeded to bash me on the floor until I didn't wake up. But the whole thing was a setup from the word go. Let's rob this gullible youth boy.
Bro, what
What are you talking about?
Hang on. Whoa. Let's go back a second.
Yeah.
You got set up with fake mushrooms to get bashed? Yeah. Who the fuck did that? What a scumbag.
To the day, the detectives at Miranda were not able to give me an identification of the 4 culprits, but mysteriously they disappeared.
When was this?
Well, to be fair, the police wasn't there. You were. So who were they?
I'm not quite sure, but one of the boys had red hair. So whenever I see a ranger 6 foot with TNs at Redfern Station, I start spitting. And I'm like, did you put me in a coma back when I was 20 years old? Or am I tripping and this whole thing was because I took magic mushrooms?
Bro, hang on. So what?
Oh, so wait. No, that hurts my brain even more. You're saying that now it could have been just a trip and you didn't get bashed?
Well, I'm willing to play devil's advocate for fun today, but no, because I lost all my teeth and did have to extend.
Oh, right, okay. So
you actually did get bashed.
Okay, fuck, that sucks.
That's bad, man.
Dude, that, I wouldn't say that's mushrooms to blame. I would say that that guy's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, all of them.
Straight out. Whoever you are, if you're still alive, you rang a fuck.
Yeah.
Don't be bashing people for no reason. I hate that so much. I hate that.
Rangers?
No, not rangers. Yeah, I hate rangers. I do hate rangers. Fuck you all the rangers. No, I'm joking.
You got a ranger on your couch over there.
I'm kidding. No, I never understood like that. I don't know if you want to roll people for their wallet and you're 16, but
I don't get it.
To put someone in a... Did they put you in a coma, Dom? Put you in a coma?
So when I woke up, I was actually at the hospital.
No, that's... Yeah.
I couldn't look myself in the face as a man.
I couldn't. No.
If
people do that.
Like if he was trying to do something incorrect.
It's trying to hurt me or my family, sure, you're going to get fucking decked. But just to randomly, like, jump someone with 4 people is just weak.
It is weak. I don't get it. I don't understand any of it. But I wanted to talk a little bit about your experience. So for those people that don't really know, Diogo was very outspoken during the pandemic.
Yes.
Right? A little too outspoken for his own liking, I'd say. Right?
Yeah.
Because the news just planted your face everywhere. Because you, apparently, I don't know, from what I understood, you became the front leader of everything and you were the person that orchestrated everything, apparently. And all these things.
The news essentially said that I organised that entire major Sydney protest.
Well done. For organising, 40,000 people from one Instagram account? Mate, you're a great organiser.
Thank you, sir.
If I could, I wouldn't mind organising a protest. I'll call you fucking when I need you.
I can get the people there.
According to the news, mate, you're a wonderful recruiter.
Yeah. I'm a great promoter.
Mate, they went after everybody that they could. Yeah. They set up a task force to go after people that were protesting simply their voice on what they thought was incorrect or correct.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. No one was there with drugs or alcohol or with weapons or nothing. Everyone was there with some people with their children.
Yeah.
And you, amongst 40 other thousand people, aired their opinion the same way. You were just one of the unlucky ones that got... Well, I wouldn't say unlucky because no
It was a complete target. It was just a target.
But any publicity is good publicity, as they say.
Yeah.
But they went on a fucking... They went after you. They went after that Anthony bloke. They went after the guy who apparently hit the horse. They went... the flamethrower. They just... John Bernard. They went after every single... You too, Dom. I saw you copping some shit.
Yeah.
Every single person that they thought was involved. And I'm like, well, why? You set up a task force for protesters that were not even breaking the law.
Yeah.
But you would not set up the same task force to tackle any other major crime that is more important, right? What about... I don't even want to go into the amount of crimes that could be replaced of that protest.
Well, they used that task force to come at us. So that asphyxiated unit, which is used for bikies and terrorists, was used on Jordan Shanks and myself.
Yes.
So, like, they came into my place. I don't have a criminal record. So when you
they came to your house.
Oh, they came in guns blazing.
Like search warrant thing.
Yeah, so what happened is that they didn't show a warrant.
What?
They came in, they had like M16s. They put my partner, who's, you know, they put her on the kitchen floor with three cops around her with the M16s on her face. They came into the studio with their handguns at me, put me on the floor. They didn't show any warrant after we kept asking for the warrant. Now I got cameras everywhere in my house. I recommend everyone put cameras in their houses.
Yeah.
They're cheap. You
With
can
audio.
you can just get them that they just roll over themselves, you know.
Wow.
Put me on the ground. 15 minutes later, they were like, we kept saying, can we film? Can we film? Can we film? They were like, no. We got the cameras. It's right here. They were like, can we see the warrant? Can we see the warrant? They're like, no, hold on a minute.
What?
And then
Did that break your door?
no, so they essentially, well, they broke like the lock, not my entire, they didn't come in like,
Oh, okay, because I've seen, sorry to cut in, they'll say police search warrant, open the door.
yeah,
Boom.
they didn't do that.
They don't give you the second to say, oh, I'm coming, let me open my fucking door.
They didn't
police
do that.
search, boom. All right, so
they just came straight in like this. At the time, I had this really secure place. I went there because it was like so secure.
Right, okay, it's like a complex or something.
Yeah,
okay.
and they had keys to it. So
What?
the building manager, they went to him. They didn't have a warrant. They got the keys from him without having a warrant. And yeah, and they came into my house. That's like, to this day, it's like it's a bit of a confronting experience. All of it, man. And it was so corrupt. This is how corrupt it was. What the fuck? It was so corrupt that when I was processed at Ride, right, their documents, the police of Ride, on their system, I was processed at 6:20. They said that they came into my house at 7:40. Their documents don't match.
See,
So, like,
did this get raised in the courts when?
yes. So I've got another. So we did the day. We split up the court sessions, right? So we did the day. Already, and I've won that. They said that I assaulted 2 officers. They said that I punched a horse, and everything under the sun that they could attack on me, they tried. And we won in court on the day protests, but we split the day. So now we have, on November, I have the House court hearing, which is them coming in with the dodgy ass warrant that didn't exist. A police officer has actually been, I can say that. Yeah, he's been let go through the whole thing, which never happens at all. So when people are saying everything is corrupt, not everything is corrupt. Like, the courts are holding themselves, and I appreciate the courts for that. But when they took me in, this is what's crazy. When they took me in, they took me in for what happened in a day, right? And when you're in court and you're seeing a judge, the judge is going to judge everything based on what the charges are.
Yeah.
And when the police, usually it's your local police that is there, and they will say something along the lines, if they don't want you doing something, they'll go, oh, Ride Police will recommend this. Mm-hmm. This, New South Wales Police requests that the defendant cannot access the internet, which would mean I couldn't access emails. I couldn't literally, imagine in 2022 not being able to enter the internet.
On what grounds?
Exactly. And then
on
the judge...
grounds?
Yeah, and the judge was like, well, this doesn't make sense. And then when that got hit back, then they went, look, we don't want him to access social media. And then the judge again, thank God for that judge. And they took me to a region, a particular court that's, it's not Downing Centre or anything. It's up a little bit from Ryde. And that's supposed to be a real lefty area at the time where judges were just screwing everyone that was anti-pandemic type of thing.
Okay.
So they knew what they were doing. But thank God for that judge. That judge was like, well, social media has nothing to do with what you're charging him with. So that doesn't make sense. And then where they landed was he can't podcast.
Whoa, what?
So for 3 months...
What? You were not allowed to podcast?
I'm the first podcaster in Australia that's been banned by the courts of podcasting.
You had a court order to not podcast?
Yeah, for 3 months.
What?
And my first guest back was Dr. Robert Malone. I didn't learn shit, motherfucker. Fuck you guys.
You know what, man? I got to tell you, bro, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't commit crimes. I don't do anything like that. And I had police come to my house, and it wasn't anywhere near as bad as yours, but when they came, I don't know where they got me from, because I'm a fucking drop in the ocean. I'm just a regular dude. I don't know where they got me from, but they came. The first reason was I was telling you before, there was an issue with one of my licenses. The other issue was asking me if I was attending a future protest that was happening a week later.
How weird is that?
And it was. So they came a number of times, and I was at work. So my wife rang me, and she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know." Then they come to my house, and this poor copper, he didn't even look me in the eyes, bro. He was just like, reading off this thing. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And they asked me about some Anthony bloke, that Anthony Kaloof, right?
Yeah.
And they said, do you know where Anthony Kaloof is? And I said, who? I'm Lebanese. Kaloof, from what I know, it's a Lebanese term. I'm like, Anthony Kaloof. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would I know where this guy is, bro? Why are you asking me? Like, I fucking know who is he? I don't know who he is. I don't know. I've never met the guy. I've never spoken to the guy. Nothing, right? And I'm going, wow. They are going to any extreme necessary because of a protest.
Yeah.
Because of people's individual choice. Because of people's... And the people that went to that protest, what they were saying, I'd imagine all the news channels across the globe are saying what they were saying. Mm. The things that they were trying to stop, whatever they weren't wanting, has happened. And now what they were believing actually was the right thing.
Exactly.
Doctors are saying, vaccination isn't... Don't want to go down that again. But, bro, why? With no evidence, no science. They drag you through a shitstorm of bullshit for what?
That after they raided me and whatnot, that happened to me, but it was fucking... Like, I have the video. So I got all the body cam. Like, after November, I'll be doing a video and releasing what happened inside the place.
Good idea.
The only bit that I can't access is them actually coming into my place, which they never had their body cams on. So that's completely illegal. So I'll release everything of them being inside my place. And so that happened to me. They came to my door again, and because I was like, I'm not going anywhere, blah, 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 blah. But then they were like, oh, we need to see you for your bail conditions. Like, we actually physically see you. So can you open up the door and show me your ID? And then I'm like, the fuck? Because they can't give you you have to accept that paper
That's right.
for it to be legally binding.
Yeah.
So what they did, and I've got video of this as well. I placed the video like on the kitchen counter before I opened the door or anything. Open the door, I show my passport, and then he goes to try and grab my passport. I'm like, no, you're not grabbing my passport. And then he's like, I go, am I identified now? And then he goes, yes. And then I go, all right. And then he tries to speak to me. And then I go to close the door to not speak to them. They put the foot on the door, and they threw the piece of paper in my apartment, and like all three of them smashing the door to try and like get in to give me this piece of paper. And then when they couldn't, because I put my foot on the other side of the door, they just threw it in and then just ran off. And I'm like, are you guys a gang? What is this? And what's hilarious is that when people were giving shit to the cops throughout the 2 years, on my podcast, I was always praising the cops. So when I can't wait for this court hearing in November, because what the house thing as well, they went into my studio and they found foam nunchucks that cost $10, right, from Alibaba, and it's a prop. But I didn't know that nunchucks is 14 years in Australia.
For foam nunchucks?
So nunchucks itself, if you have a toy, then it's not. So we're arguing that this is a toy because it's foam, it's clearly not a weapon, blah, blah, blah. It's $10. So what we have also done, if I didn't have a good lawyer, like my lawyers, Mark Davis, Xenophon and Davis, amazing, took down Barilaro, he's incredible. If I didn't have that, I probably would be locked up, right? But we've taken this in an interesting way because now we've called upon every person that entered that house. We've called upon watching every bit of that footage. So for a $10 foam nunchuck, we're going to have a 2-day hearing with all of those special officers. They're not normal officers. They're the asphyxiated counter-terrorism unit. So for them to be there is going to cost them a shitload. And they're going to come back and they're going to be like, actually, we want to drop this. But there's no way I'm dropping this. I want to go to court.
Bro, so to your point about the police, right?
Yeah.
The police, and I'm going to say this as a generalization right now, most of them are just doing what they're told in order to keep their job, all right?
Yeah, most of them are indoctrinated just the same.
Exactly.
You know?
And we can't stand there and say, fuck you, because they're just doing what they're told the same way we are when it comes to our jobs or our business or whatever the fuck it is, right? So we can't point the finger at them and go, you, John Smith, police officer from this station, you're a dog. Mate, at the end of the day, it's their job to do what they are fucking told, otherwise they won't have one, right?
Yeah.
They are people just like you and I. They may not like the decisions that they have to make. They might not like what they have to do. Some of them are pricks.
Yeah.
You get the odd one that's a piece of shit. It happens. Everyone is human. That's what makes us wonderful. Some people are normal people and some people are police officers. And police officers and normal people can both be wankers.
Yeah.
That's a reality of life.
100%.
Right? But most cops that I have had an interaction with are good people.
Yeah,
They're
I train
genuine
with
people.
them. I train with cops. I train with detectives. Great people.
They are people.
Yeah.
Just like a nurse is, or just like a doctor is, a police officer is a normal person, just like a fucking builder is, right?
Yeah. They're under, like, they should be trained more.
They should be trained way more.
They have like hardly, I can't remember the last time I looked at it, but their stat for actual like hand-to-hand training and, jiu-jitsu or anything like that, they don't do. They actually don't do much of that at all throughout the year. You have your initial thing to get in, which is quite a shitty little test.
Like a fitness type thing. Yeah.
But they don't have like they should, I think every police division in Australia should have a jiu-jitsu program so they can understand how to subdue a person in general. Like, you know what I mean?
I've got a mate.
And they'll be better for it. Like, they'll be better as humans. They wouldn't commit the atrocities that they do if they did jiu-jitsu.
You are actually preaching to the choir. I have my best mate and I talk about this on and off, non-stop. We send each other videos all the time. There's one in America. A cop gets to a wedding. This guy, he's wearing a singlet. You can tell he's smashed. He's tatted up, big dude. Knocks out the first cop. And then all you see is the cop go down in his body cam and you hear duck, 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 like 6-7 shots. And this guy's dead. At a wedding. Now, bro, and I sent this to him. I said, you know what, man? if they had hand-to-hand combat experience, A, he may not have been punched in the face. He may have been able to duck it. B, they may have just been able to subdue him with some sort of submission or some sort of whatever the fuck you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
But having that knowledge, and there are countless videos across the world of other police officers. There's one of a dude, he's carrying a knife or a bat, and he swings it, and the cop grabs his arm and tosses him over his shoulder and then puts him in a lock. And it is the sexiest thing you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a badge.
I've seen a few cops sumigashi, and they're the best.
Bro, there's one, I think he's Eastern European, and he's ducking, weaving punches on. The guy's got I think he's got a knife or something, and he's handling it himself with no weapon drawn.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, if police just knew, if they just had a small fraction of training as you said, man, bang on. Doesn't even need, they could be a white belt, blue, it doesn't matter. Doesn't be some sort of crazy status. They need to know that if there's a guy there, you don't need to, you can pull out your taser. You don't have to pull out a weapon. You can subdue him with your fucking hands.
Oath.
Save lives across every continent. America, man. Unfortunately, it's tough because these guys want to go home to their families. And in America, everyone's carrying. So you're always on edge. In Australia, no one's carrying. You don't have to really worry too much. But, bro, it's...
But, like, someone shooting a cop is very, very rare as well.
In Australia, it is, yeah.
In America, too.
Bro...
Like, have you really seen a lot of cops being shot?
I watch a lot of A&E.
Yeah?
Surprisingly. And a lot of cop... either court cams or videos of cop body cams. Yeah. There's a lot of... Bro, I watch videos of police pulling over a guy. Yeah. How you doing, man? Tail lights out. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, look, you got your license? No, I don't have my license. No problem, just wait here for me. They go through the whole thing. They find... They get close. They get a dog out. The guy punches it and they start shooting at the cops while they're driving. There's actually one, a cop gets shot in the car. I swear to God. Bro, America is not... because they can carry...
Yeah.
If some guys are carrying kilos, what are they going to spend their life in jail or die? Like that's where their brain goes.
True.
So these guys are doing a high speed chase, shooting the cops. He's got bullet holes in his window, shooting through his own window.
GDH.
And legit. And his partner's like, "Shit, dude, I've been hit." It's like, "You're right, I've been hit." I'm like, "Fuck!" I know this is like a movie, you know. But again, like America, Australia, completely different continents and miles apart with how they do things. But mate, that's fucked. That's really traumatic because what did you do? What did you do? Did you rape somebody? Did you murder somebody? Did you sleep with the constable's daughter? No. You went to a protest with 40,000 people.
Yeah, anti-lockdown protest. It wasn't an anti-vaccine protest. It was an anti-lockdown. It was small business protest. That was that protest.
Bro, you see the sign, the sign above that, what it says? It says supporting Australian small businesses.
Yes.
Because Australian small businesses carry Australia. That's
oath.
literally, and the lifeblood, I could speak for New South Wales. You know, people that were there that were small business owners, they're sitting there with their dicks in their hands going, mate, why can't I open my shop?
Yeah.
Why can this hairdresser be open but my cafe has to close? Why?
Yeah.
You fucks, why? There's no logic. So everyone's had enough, man. And the feeling that where that environment of people together singing the same song, it was like, these people are not crazy. These people just don't agree with what you think is the right way.
Yeah.
And I think the authorities had no idea that it was going to be that big.
Because
I remember I looking at some footage. Fucking hell, there was some people there, man. There was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I remember looking around. I'm like, I can't even see road. I can just see people. So I don't understand. I don't understand why. That's left a very sour taste in my mouth, at least, because I now know we have a tomato flu. You heard this one, the tomato flu. This becomes a thing. What's going to happen? They'll lock us down.
That's the next flu, tomato flu.
Sit on tomatoes. What the fuck's next, bro? Who knows? Who knows? The world's gone mad. But
it's a madness, and like
collectively mad. Everyone's saying the same thing, which is very odd.
The
push. There's like a push for everything at the same time. Like there's an agenda of this trans thing, and then there's this fake meat thing, and then this electric car thing.
It's so beautifully done,
isn't it?
Masterpiece. Like it's the destruction of the nuclear family.
Yes,
is like they've done an incredible job. And all of these things that act amongst the same time, these get people talking, but if you actually analyze it, the real destruction that all of this does is within the family, within the group chat.
Yeah.
And it's like, because your family is divided. Like, your families have their own humans, their own beliefs. So the arguments between, I mean, Dom's, I don't know if I should say that, is
Just say it.
he's been taken out of his will for his stance, right? Family will. So that's what's happening. It's the destruction of family values, families togetherness. They want the and there are strong families out there that are just like, you know what, we have disagreements, but that's fine. We live the way we live. But there's others that has been completely destroyed. There's really no going back. Like, there's arguments that's had that is just like shouldn't have had, and they've thrown everything. They've thrown everything that they possibly could at the same time. That's why you have polarizing presidents across the board, from left and right, to polarize, to strip the family apart. And that's the major thing that's really happening. That's being completely overlooked.
It's scarily true, everything you just said, because I have a family, bro. I got kids, and I didn't experience anything like this growing up. There was nowhere near the amount of, obviously you have to factor in technology advancements, time, all those things. But the access to information, and not just any information, bad information, negative information, which could potentially break up your family unit, is so readily available at their fingertips. It's scary.
Yeah.
The speed they can see things and access things. I remember, bro, we're probably the similar age, right? I'm early 30s. Growing up to browse a titty or two, you'd have to wait for the dial-up and no one to be on the fucking phone.
Oh, you'd click the loading. I had a computer room next to my kitchen. Yeah. I'd click the fucking image, and then I'll go make myself a coffee or a tea, and then I'd come back to fucking jerk off at the image.
But it took a while, right? You'd be limited to the time and the access. Nipple, bang, I'm done.
Just accessing the internet was just a war.
And porn movies were on DVD or videos, right? It wasn't none of this stuff on your phone. So what this does to a family, what this does to a young male, desensitizes men, breaks down their desire for truth and desire for what's right. I grew up, and my dad was always like, you shouldn't have sex before you're married, and Christian background. So I always used to think, that's crazy, man. Why? Whatever. And then when you get married and you grow up and you're like, I see the value in that.
Yeah.
That's so important. For my sons anyway, I would love for them to hold that.
Yeah.
Because what sex has become is not what it used to be.
No.
Sex used to be a thing where you'd see it every now and then. You're like, oh, I'm not going to watch that show because I know, or I'm not going to, my parents more, you're not going to watch this because of that.
Yeah. Now
it is almost impossible to navigate through or around it. I'm not saying like I'm some Bible basher that doesn't like a nipple, but I don't necessarily care to watch sex scenes. Who gives a fuck? I'm not 16 anymore. Yeah. I want to watch a show. Whatever, it has a bit of sex. It has a bit of sex. It's Hollywood, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's always someone that's gay, or there's always something that's off. There's always this. There's always that. Why? Yeah. Why is there's always this thing in the background now where you can't just be a traditional family with a husband and a wife and a son and a daughter and a dog? Why does it have to be a gay son?
Yeah.
Why is there always this agenda of just grinding away from what is wholesome or what is true and moving into stuff that is completely the opposite? That's what worries me as a dad. And bro, God willing, you have children one day. I don't know if you do so.
Next month.
Oh man.
Cheers,
yes,
brother.
Oh, that's awesome.
Little boy coming.
Yes. Oh man, you are about to have the biggest shock to your system.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you.
People have told me that.
It is the best thing that will happen to you.
Yeah.
At the same time, it will be the most challenging thing that will happen to you.
Yeah.
But it makes you a better man for it.
I can't wait.
And your instinct for loving your family grows, and your seed, it's your seed.
Yeah.
So you have this desire to never let them down.
Yeah.
So you think differently, your perspective changes. But bro, more importantly, you grow with this little human that's a little version of you.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And everything we're talking about is important for our children.
100%. And that's why I am vocal, you know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
I'm not one of, we'll leave it and the next generation will fix it. It's like we've had that too much, and we've reached this point where we need to like speak up. And the truth is the truth. Say the truth. If you lose some friends over it, it doesn't really matter.
So be it.
Like, have your integrity, have your honor. Back to porn, it desensitizes us completely, and it's majority of males that actually watch porn.
Yes.
There's a lot of attack on like manhood itself, like from toxic masculinity bullshit. Like,
the warrior mentality is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, like this is real shit.
Yeah.
In New South Wales, right? From January up to May this year, we have had 431 suicides. 431. So we've 3/4 of that, 323.5, 3/4 of it is males. We're going to have a male die almost 2 times a day this year. And then people want to talk about this fucking toxic masculinity. They want to talk about men are this, men are that. Men in the fucking mines is not looking at oppressing women. They're there working their ass off so they can provide for their women. They can treat their queens well. This toxic masculinity comes from when women try to become men, and it sort of bridges out into society, and that's toxic masculinity. Like,
Amen.
Men themselves are being targeted and
for being men.
Yes, and they're silently dying.
Yeah, bro. You know, Paul Green, God rest his soul, man. He was 49, a father of 2, and he couldn't bear anymore. And he took his own fucking life, man. And dude, like, my priority is my family. And I pray that any man that's going through any type of mental battles or struggling with depression that speaks up, says something. Because even if they have a 5-minute chat with someone, it could change their fucking life. Because, man, people forget the art of conversation. That's why this is such a valued... I value this so much.
100%.
This is not anything you can just create. You can create. We have to create it. But this is not something that is orchestrated.
Yeah.
This is something where you're learning about someone in a span of an hour or so.
Yeah.
And you learn so much where you could change your perspective from it.
Yeah.
And men don't do that enough.
Yeah.
We are so... Bro, I cry a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm an emotional fucking dude. If I hear a song, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like, I hear... Meek Mill, I listened to Meek Mill, gave me goosebumps. 1942 flows.
Legend.
I'm like, oh, I just got chills. Because this guy is spitting from his heart about where he... Anyway, that's... But men are so hardened to their feelings.
Yeah.
Which I don't like crying in front of my wife. I did when my mate killed himself. My mate killed himself... Oh, poor cunt. He killed himself a couple of months ago.
Fuck.
He does what I do. Well, mates from work, we used to work together, and he was battling with alcohol, getting off alcohol, and from what the boys are saying, he ran out of Valium, and he was arrested on Friday night running through Bondi naked, trying to get hit by a car.
Get hit?
He'd gotten out of hospital somehow. He was a sweet talker, Irish fella. He used to be able to just talk, bro. He'd just talk anyone. He'd talk to anyone. He would talk to, little brother, talking to Indian guy. Anyway, he apparently sweet talked his way out of the hospital and jumped off a cliff in Bondi. And 32 years old, welded his feet. Man,
so young, man.
So young, bro. And it was like, bro, all we needed was just to have a chat.
Yeah.
I would just come and sat down with you. And I'm not saying we were like weekly, daily boys. But we worked together for long enough that we kept in touch via socials, and we used to talk often, man. Even after I left my job, I tried to get a job with him. So we were spending heaps of time. And it blew my... I woke up on a Friday morning, my mate saying, Hamish killed himself. I'm like, what? What are you fucking talking about, Hamish? And bro, it was one of the most confronting things I felt. Because this guy was such a beautiful person. And it was confronting. And all I kept thinking about was, what if this guy jumped and then realised halfway down that he didn't want to jump?
That's the worst. And I think I've thought about it that a lot.
Scares me, bro.
It's a weird, and people that actually survive, they regret it most of the time.
I got my dad's mate tried to kill himself by shooting himself in the head, and he shot himself in the head, but it missed. So it went through, but it didn't go anywhere serious.
Yeah.
So he's alive, but he's now fucked. Like he can't talk properly. He's on all these meds and. Sorry, I jumped. No,
100%. They regret it. And something that I've started doing lately as well is I've stopped. You know, there's this Australian culture of a weird. It's a weird banter where you sort of like put down your mates, and you you call them fuckwits, you call them useless. You know what I mean?
Because that's all I do.
Yeah.
Hey, dog,
Yeah. I've lately cut that out because it's always like, there'll be. I look at it almost like a battle. If I'm in a battle. I want the people that, because when I go to jiu-jitsu, when I am around Brazilians, when I'm around different cultures, these friends are so respective.
They're uplifting.
Like, they're uplifting. Yeah. And they will, sure, they might joke around with me, but when it comes to my family, when it comes to anything around me, they're always
respectful.
Completely the utmost respect.
Yeah.
And the people that disrespect, because world lives in a couple of ways. World lives, you either rule by respect, which is what Marcus Aurelius did, or you rule by fear, which is what a lot of the world right now is trying to do. They're trying to rule by fear. And men, a lot of the times, put on a front of this, it just rolls off their shoulder. But a lot of the times later on, they think about it. It's a weird thing. Oh, why did he say that? I should have said this. Or when he said this, I should have come back with this joke.
Yes.
And it's like, and they almost don't see that subliminally, it's a combative mentality against your surrounding. Your
brotherhood.
Brothers. You shouldn't.
Wow.
Brotherhood, you need to uplift them so when you do go into battle against something else, they will give their life for you. But really, internally, subliminally, you're not really going to give your life to someone that's just made fun of you, and it sort of plays in your head tiny bits.
Bro.
People don't even notice that.
No, because you just always put people down.
It's Australian culture.
Yes.
And look at where we are. We got 431 suicides, 323 males.
I'm just thinking now, because I call my mates, brother, my boy, Habib, this, whatever. But it's all right, dickhead, and it's a subliminal now. Yeah. I'm big on that subliminal stuff, I'm a big believer of that. If you read the number 7 every day on your way to work, you'll start seeing 7s. You'll start saying 7s. I agree with all of that stuff. So if you're constantly putting people down, not only are you putting them down, you're also bringing yourself down because you're on not to say vibration, but you're on this wave of negativity.
Right?
You're fighting constantly to be positive, where you should be fighting positive. Should be fighting always to stop being negative. It's not being negative. So that's.
And it's a cultural joke.
It is. And a lot of our culture is not wholesome. A lot of our culture is based around consumption, whether it be drugs or alcohol. And that's how we converse with each other.
Yeah.
Where I'm now starting to know my own circles, my mates, we're all a bit older and kids and things, but we have a lot of reminiscing conversation, talking about how things were when we were younger, but then we also talk a lot about deeper things that are more... around what's happening in our lives. And I'm noticing as I'm getting older, and I'm glad, because if you talk to a 18-year-old, it's like they'll be talking Mandarin, no cap. What is no cap, cuz? What is this shit? No cap. I had to Google it. No fucking clue. Zero. It means not lying. Why can't you say you're not lying? No cap. And they say, what's the other thing? Clutch or something. I'm like, what are you saying, bro? they're on a different world. They're on a different planet. But these poor kids are soaking in so much different shit that we soaked in.
Yeah.
We are who we are because we have a different perspective. The traditional man who provides for his family, and that vision of the white picket fence and the wife in the sundress and the kids playing in a field that I envision every fucking day is almost considered a sin now, right? It's ostracized to the point where it's not even normal. Where
if you're traditional and you like family, you're
weird,
alt-right these days. It's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
I've met people that don't want to have kids.
Yes,
and I'm like, now again, I'm not in any position to criticize or judge or anything, bro. Everyone's fucking free to do what they want.
Yeah.
But why do you not want kids, man? Like, I see people that have pets that treat their pets like their kids. But like in replacement of their kids, But why would you not want the ultimate blessing and the ultimate gift? Why would you not want to share that with someone? And I'll tell you, bro, it's hard. That's why a lot of people don't want the baby's going to cry at night. And you'll experience this. Your kid, maybe he might be relentlessly crying and you'll have no answer for. You don't know why. You're walking around, you're trying everything. You have no clue why the cunt crying. And all I think about, bro, and remember this, he'll only be little for a short couple of years. Peterson talks about it, 4 years.
Yeah.
My oldest is 3, and I promise you, he is growing rapidly to the point where carrying him now is not. It feels weird because he's not small anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you loathe those moments, if you anger in those moments, if you anger at your child in those moments, you will regret. You won't regret, but you will forget how quick that time goes, and don't let that bother you. Enjoy it. Try and actually realize that this kid is out of a womb, doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and he's crying because he doesn't know who you are.
Yeah.
He just knows your voice and your smell, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you become one with that moment rather than oppose it and argue it. Bro, I was up at like 3 a.m. carrying my son, and I don't know why he was crying, and I'm like, fuck, bro, just go to bed. But if you get angry, your problems get bigger. And it's like, all right, you got to think for them because they're only going to be little.
100%.
My little guy's going to be 1 at the end of the week. And
oh, really?
I had both. I had my first before COVID and then my second middle of COVID. And the middle of COVID, bro, it was such a challenge. I had to get I had to do a PCR test the day he was born so I could go back into the hospital so I could get my wife lunch. Anyways. But man, what an experience, bro.
I can't wait. He's going to be... It's one of those things also, like, I am so excited about it because, like, I never had a father, right? So he left when I was 4. I still remember it to this day. I asked the guy for like $1 to buy some lollies in Brazil.
You were 4? So you were born in Brazil?
Born in Brazil. So I was in a favela.
Wow.
He came to visit my mum, and then I saw him. And, I went up to him and was like, there was it was so weird because this is amazing. Actually, he's at that age that just know that there's a lot of things that he will remember. People think that they won't, but they will.
No, you're right.
I remember that day like it was literally yesterday.
That's
like
so weird.
I knew that they were upstairs talking. I lived like on this train track, 1-bedroom place with my mum, and he came down. I went up to him and I was like, "Can I have 1 howl?" Which is, I don't know, 10 cents.
Yep.
And then he's like, "What for?" And I go, "Over there's the shop. I can see that shop right now. I want to get some lollies."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No." And then I go, "Okay." And then I turned around and he left. I knew at that moment that I was not seeing this guy again. I knew it.
What?
At that moment. It was so weird. It's so like... And I don't have that thing that is like, people are like, "Oh, you're gonna... Don't you miss that connection?" It's a weird thing. I don't have it. I'm completely disconnected. Like, to me...
Well, you wouldn't, right?
Yeah, it's just a complete disconnect. And he's like... The guy's tried... Whenever my mum goes to Brazil to see my grandma, he's always trying to...
He still knows... still actively...
After I was 18... He tried to contact me for money, and then when she goes
Jeez,
back...
That's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. And then when she goes back, he tries to reach out to her and try to like think. But I want nothing to do with him, period. And it doesn't really matter. But the thing is that I can't wait to be a dad because of that. It's like it drove me the complete other way. And I'm like, cannot wait for this little kid to come out. And I'm like, I've been also trying to like mentally assess how to be a dad, like how you can, you know, I want him to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for example, right?
Yeah,
but
same.
how do I convey that in a way that is not just like do this, because if you do that, they're not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you something, bro. I thought similar things before I had my kid, and I think the answer is don't overthink it. Because as the time comes, you'll know, you know.
Yeah.
Like, bro, my son now, he's 3. He loves garbage trucks and diggers and all that type of stuff. And he does a little sport class that they do once a week. It's hockey and then soccer and cricket and all this. And I'm just little subtle hints because he's 3.
Yeah.
By the time he's 4, I want him to be in jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, Dad, we're gonna do a different sport class where you're gonna learn to tackle someone and you can wrestle someone and you can have heaps of fun with all your mates and like that.
Yeah.
Not saying it's just little seeds. Now, whether he takes it and goes, I love this, it's great. Whether he doesn't, also, I don't care. Because when you become a father, you want the best for him.
Yeah.
Right? I know jiu-jitsu is going to be good for him in his whole life.
Yeah.
It's doesn't even a debate.
Yeah.
But I'm limited to what I can make him do, because if I shove it down his throat, he will just spit it out and fucking despise it and do the opposite, like you said.
Yeah. Do you do... This is a great question and perfect to ask. Do you... Because I've thought about this, like rewards-based psychology. So, like, if your kid does some things, right, do you get excited, like really excited at things that, like, for example, if he says something about jiu-jitsu, you light up. Oh yeah, like so. Then at other things, you sort of you answer it, but you don't. You're sort of more subdued. So then in his mind, it's like, oh,
Dad likes this.
Dad likes this. This is cool. Like, do you do any of that?
I do. So with the battles we're having now is him sleeping in his bed, and then he uses the toilet. We're toilet training him.
Yeah.
So we make a big fuss when he stays in his bed. Because he'll wake up in the middle of the night, it might be cold or something, he comes into our bed and then we take him back and it's just a bit of a shit fight.
Yeah.
Those types of things we want, because that's what we're really pushing for now, because we want him to develop, like, you know, he'll take himself and piss by himself.
Yeah.
Like, pull his shorts down, pull him up, like he's getting there.
Yeah.
But in terms of jiu-jitsu, at 3 years old, how do I put it, bro? He could be like, oh, Dad, look at this water bottle. And you'd be like, oh, buddy, this is awesome. Where did you get it from? He'd be like, Dad, I love garbage trucks. And you're like, oh, okay. All right, cool. We can't have a conversation yet. Like, we can't. His mind's just going a million miles an hour.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Or he'd be like, Dad, the truck's reversing. I'm like, okay. He's like, beep, beep. I'm like, buddy, and he's in his world. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So mate, every time the UFC card's on his home, and as soon as Bruce Buffer, since he's been a baby, Bruce Buffer starts, he's like, boom, look at no. And he's like, boom. Even today, he'll stop. His brother doesn't give a fuck. He stops. But when he was an infant, we would watch card after card at home.
Yeah.
I would watch UFC Fight Pass on repeat. Like, this kid, absorb, learn, absorb. Watch the Ultimate Fighter. Watch Jiu-Jitsu comps. Watch it, absorb it. But it doesn't work. It's not. I'm a firm believer that if you put the right things in front of your children, they will see them and take them eventually.
Yeah.
But if you put dancing fairies and dildos in front of them, that's exactly what they're going to end up in, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be in control of that side of it.
Yeah.
And to your point about the psychological questioning and reward system, when I find that the time is right to start having the little pushes towards it, I'll definitely do that. Because I actually want him to also do soccer or cricket or maybe not. I don't want to sit there on a Saturday for 6 hours like my dad did. God love him. Cricket. Soccer, I like football. I should call it football because that's what it really is.
Yeah.
I grew up playing that sport, and that is, it's a wonderful sport. It's a world-renowned sport, one of the greatest sports in the world.
100%.
I love it. I watch it. He watches it with me sometimes because I don't mind it. So the good thing is, everything he likes, I sort of like. Like trucks, I took him to a diesel and dirt show at Eastern Creek, where it was all machines and dump trucks and all that stuff. And I just brought him with me as a work thing. And I brought him with me because he's all into it. And I'm into it too. That's what I do for a living. I help people buy those types of things. So he, it's finding the common interest where you can share that. So like most Friday, like when I get my haircut now, when he's due, he comes with me, sits on my lap, gets his haircut.
That's cool.
We got a little bond. We get a coffee. You know, you do these little things where you form that special bond with him. And bro, he'll pick up that you like it. He'll automatically, because like you live and breathe it, right? He'll know. He'll start to feel it. He'll start, and you'll muck around with him. I muck around with him now. I put him in little holes and stuff. I'm like, come on, get out. And I start punching him and stuff. And it's just that type of mode. I really, really think martial arts would be one of the best things for any young boy growing up, simply because they will learn the art of not just fighting, but respecting another man and respecting treacherous situations where. Do you see the video of that kid that got clipped in the neck with a knife in Brisbane?
No.
Oh, bro. I can't even show it.
What happened?
This kid there was a group of guys, the footage is this group of guys, they're mouthing off, right? And this guy's like, get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out. And this other group are there and they're sort of backing up and this group's pushing forward.
Yeah.
And the group that's backing up, the guy that's standing at the front has a knife and he's just doing that, right? In the footage, this young guy, I can show you later if you want. This young guy comes out and he's a big guy. Comes out and he's got his neck out. And he's like doing like that. And the guy just clips his aorta, bro.
Accidentally?
I think it was by accident. I don't think the guy meant. He was doing that before. And he just got his neck out and he went, click, and the blood starts pouring. And then he just goes down and he dies, right? You don't see him dying. I stopped after I saw the clip. Bro. Like,
that's scared kids, right?
Bro, this is a 20-something-year-old kid.
Yeah.
My first thought, Diego, was, fuck me if that was my son. Imagine getting a phone call. Oh my God. Imagine getting a phone call that your son was killed with a knife over like that. I believe if there was some form of training on both sides, both those kids wouldn't have been in that situation.
No.
This kid wouldn't be leaning with his neck forward. If someone pulls a knife, the first thing you do is run, bro. Yeah. You're not trying to be a sick cunt. Get the fuck. Take my wallet, bro. Take my mum, take whatever you want. I don't care, 100%. Bro. I don't want to fight you. And I learnt a very valuable lesson with a good mate of mine who's an MMA fighter, ex-MMA fighter. We were at a Macca's one night. We were young, we were blazed, we were having a feed. It was like 2 a.m. And this guy just wanted to punch on. And like you're my mate, we're talking. Me and my mate are laughing. And I can hear this guy going, you think it's fucking funny, mate? You think it's fucking funny? Let's go, cunt. I'm like, and I'm like, he's talking to you. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck. And he just wanted to, and my mate was like, bro, I'm scared. I don't want to fight. I'm sorry. We just kept going. He's like, yeah, you're mucking. He's like, no, bro. I don't want to fight you. I'm scared, please. I don't want to fight. And my mate almost had subdued it, and this other guy was like, bro, just fuck off. And then the other guy went after him, and then a little fight erupted. But learnt from my mate, who is trained, who could have iced this dude. It's like, nah, bro, I don't fight. I'm scared. Yeah. All the years of training, all the years of combat sport that he knows, all the techniques, everything he knows. Yeah. He just said, no, I don't want to fight.
I know UFC guys that's done that. Friends,
bro,
as well.
And I'm like, that is a true example of where you draw the line, where you know how to respect life. Because I feel like with combat sport, you're learning how to defend your life, how to protect your fucking life, right? If you're in a street and someone puts a choke on you and they don't let go, you're going to die. Like, cuz it's life and death. So
100%.
When I want my son to learn that respect, that's why I want him to learn how to handle a firearm, because I want him to respect it. I don't want him to think life is not precious. Life is too precious. So this guy, I shouldn't say kid, 29-year-old, he died spearfishing in Bondi. Mate of a mate. A lot of my mates are friends with him. They pulled him out of the water. They all resurfaced. He didn't come up for air, and he died 29 years old, just like that. Freak accident. Life is too short, bro.
100%.
It is too fucking short.
Man, you gotta cherish these moments, and that's what I'm coming into it. I'm super excited, anxious. Yeah. All the emotions.
A lot of unknowns, man.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and these people that say like, oh, I'm just, these progressive people that are, I'm just waiting for the right time. There is no right time, man.
Never.
You just jump in and create an amazing... We're going to have a serious shortage of human problem in the future. Like, you hear Elon Musk talk about it right now a lot.
Yeah.
That guy is constantly... Every podcast that I've seen him on lately, he's he has a word for it, actually. He's coined up his own word that
Really?
is... Yeah, that is... he essentially says that we have a... I don't know the word that he uses, but he's just essentially saying we're
depopulating ourselves.
100%, and we're going to have a shortage of labour across the board. And sure, it might be a part of automation, but who gives a fuck about that? It doesn't really matter about the fourth industrial revolution. The thing is that you need to start having kids. I strongly believe that, and bringing amazing people into this life. And if you're I'm a huge centrist, right? But these people that are conservatives, these people that are progressives, I don't know what they're thinking. It's like both sides are not having kids, but conservatives, if you want to eradicate what's happening over here, just have your fucking kids and teach them your values. You know what I mean?
So true.
That's what they need to do. That's how they can, bring back. And in America, I don't know how you feel about the whole abortion thing. It's a weird thing, but the whole overturning of that whole
Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, it's gonna 30 years time, America will be back to a Christian conservative country. It's just that's what I see happening, and
bro, abortion's a tricky one.
It is very tricky because I don't fully I don't support. I think the words are fucked. I think pro-life and pro-choice is
it's a bad choice.
It's retarded phrasing. You know what I mean?
It's like you're one or the other, right?
Like just pro-abortion and pro not abortion or whatever. But pro-choice is a bit it's a bit misleading in a lot of ways. But
yeah, abortion. A guy, I can't remember who it was on Rogan recently, broke it down
fantastically. I saw that too.
And when he described it, I'm like, actually, you know what? I think that's what I think.
Yeah.
I actually think that's how I would best describe. Again, it is an individual person that has to live with the decision. Okay, for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
The guy was right. Now, the argument that a lot of people have is that what if someone's raped or molested? Okay, the statistics on that are very small. There's not a high percentage of people that have
kids
a child,
after rapes,
correct? And it's not that they don't even fall pregnant. It's just not a thing.
Yeah,
right. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Like anything, right? So you have to account for it, but you can't base your whole argument on that because that's not the core problem.
Yeah.
The core problem is people being able to say, hey, at 9 months, I'm done. I don't want this. Or saying, hey, I wanted a boy, but I got a girl.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. Where it gets a bit grey with the rapes and all the underage stuff and, should they be able to have it? I can't comment on that. But do I think murder is the right response for rape? No. Right? Because what if the person that says that is pro-abortion was aborted? They wouldn't be able to speak about pro-abortion.
Yeah, and a lot of people that survive abortions become anti-abortion activists, which is very, very interesting. Melbourne is fucked. I think a day after having the baby, you can kill it.
What?
Is
in Melbourne, Australia?
2 days after. So 2 days after you have your child... They can kill it. Throw it in a bucket.
This is where it gets. This is what I'm saying. Talking about all that stuff, I don't like. That's evil. That's evil, right? Fucked. If you have a child and you wanted a boy, but you're given a girl, and you want to terminate, and they let you. What is that?
2 days. That is even like why 2 days? Who comes up with that?
2 days, bro. My answer to all of this, honestly, is. If you are raped, have the baby, give it up for adoption, right? Live with that. Don't live with it having to kill it. Live with someone else having to, the baby still gets a chance to live.
Yeah.
Dom.
I might chime in real quick about this because this is an
for it.
area where personally I'm pro-life.
Yeah.
Adoption is not being discussed enough, and that's not just societally, that's inside within the church four walls as well.
Yeah, I believe that.
I think we need to be open to having more discussions about this. If you were raped, I'm so sorry on behalf of all men that that's happened to you. It's an indecent thing. It's a vulnerable thing. But let me just say, that's not the baby's choice to be thrown in a garbage.
And it's not the baby's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the...
True.
Because the people that are... The baby doesn't know anything.
No.
Nothing until they're like 3. Right? They got no fucking idea. Now, I just always think if I was aborted, right? If someone else... You got to think like that. And I don't think it's right for anyone to say... Like, it's weird because...
And the argument for circumstances, to me, is a fucking terrible argument. Like, I was born in a Talva in a two-room hospital. I lived in a farm, in a one-room farm, one living room, and a kitchen. Shit. And we went down the valley to wash ourselves and go to the toilet. But...
So you're a proper hillbilly.
7 people in that house.
Wow.
7 people. That's who I lived with. We were dirt poor. Would I want to be aborted? Fuck no. Like,
is it better than being poor? No.
Yeah, no.
Because you still have a chance. See, and that's the thing.
And amazing people in our history come from suffering. Like, amazing people in history come from suffering. So that argument is a shit argument.
Suffering is one of the greatest things to ever happen to mankind. Because without suffering, you cannot grow.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you break it down to training, whether you break it down to life experiences, you need to suffer in order to become better.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you have to suffer through a rape and an abort and a delivery of a... This is not what we're saying. The topic is a very... I like to just let the individual make the choice because they have... Ultimately, it's their conscience, right?
100%.
We can't say, hey... I can't say, yeah.
All I support, right, with the Roe v. Wade thing, people think that America is just... there's just no more abortion is allowed.
Oh, no, no.
All
so
that
stupid.
I agree with the ruling of Roe v. Wade is that abortion isn't encouraged.
Correct.
And I believe that abortion shouldn't be encouraged, and that's where I leave it.
Good idea.
That's
I agree.
it.
Yeah.
So that's essentially my stance.
Joe Biden said in the 90s, abortion should be legal but rare.
Yes, he did say that.
They should be legal but rare, which is probably the right description, right? Yep. Allow for it where it needs to happen, but don't push it. Some of these crazy bitches are getting dead babies tattooed on their stomach. Yeah. You know, it's like, what are you promoting? Evil? Murder? You're just doing it because someone doesn't agree. Right? It's like saying, I like red. Well, I'm going to go and wear fucking blue and paint myself blue because I know you don't like blue and I know you like red. Yeah. I'm just going to do it because I don't like you. Yeah. Because we have opposing beliefs. Yeah. Where it's like, okay, we don't agree, but we're still human. This is the fuck thing. We are still human. We all came out of a pussy. Yeah. Every single cunt in this world, because that's what we're all cunts at the end of the day. Because fucking hell, we argue about that. I say in general. Yeah. But we all came out of a vagina. Yeah. And there's no one else that has. Doesn't matter who you are. You came out of a vagina, bruv. So before someone says, no, kill the baby, think about someone saying that to your mum before they had you. Yeah. Right? And then leave it there because I think you nailed it. Yeah. Don't encourage it. That's it. Should not be pushed the same way any other agenda shouldn't be pushed. If people want to identify as fry pans, Habib, there go for it, mate. Yeah. Go and enjoy your life as a fry pan, all right? Yeah. Go. But do not... tell me or my family or make it public, make me have to get off my seat to say I don't like it. Yeah, don't put it in schools. Don't put it in kids' faces. Let kids learn maths. Let kids learn English. Let kids learn history. Let kids learn sport. Let kids, just be kids. Don't sexualize any fucking school. Don't. You want to be a water bottle? Go be a water bottle by yourself. Like, that's fine. Or have a community of water bottles. I don't really give a fuck. And Mount Franklin can govern you all. It's if that's how crazy people want to get, go for it. Yeah. Who are we to say no? Right?
Go be a furry. Like, lick your feet. Whatever you guys want to do. Just keep it. Keep it to the adults. That's it. Don't put it on the streets. Don't put it in the schools. Don't put it in, bring it into any families. Just do it in your own private time, your own private life.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And, mate, I think on that wonderful note, we should end this wonderful podcast.
Thank you
was
so
awesome.
much, brother. Thank you so
man.
much.
So people can get you on the 5/8 Take on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere where good podcasts are, you are.
Yeah.
You have got some interesting footage coming up in November, post your court case.
Yes.
That should be interesting.
That would be out.
And my man, keep doing your thing, bro.
Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate
you.
man.
And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, man. Thank you so
Finally,
much.
we did it. And it's amazing, man. And continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you.
conversations, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.